So I'd like to first thank you all for coming out for the beginning of the blog and being a part of it. A lot of us today struggle with self-identity, knowing even who we are or how to feel or where we come from and things like that. So I wanted to get everybody together to have a group conversation around it, to get everybody's insight on how you feel, what inspires you, what allows you to love yourself if you do, what things you struggle with in loving yourself. So as we get started, there's just a few questions that I'm going to ask, and we're just going to have a discussion around it. And if you guys, have any questions and things, it's going to be up on the blog when the blog comes out. The name of the blog will be LLM, which is Loving LaTanya Murray. That's me. To learn how to love myself, because it is a process. We don't grow into loving ourselves. This blog is not just for women. It's for men, children, because even children struggle with identity, who people think they should be. And kids are cruel. A lot of the things that we go through nowadays come from an early age, how kids teach you, or people think how you should be, or where you come from, or if you got good hair, or if you're skinny, or if you're fat, and things like that. So it's also geared towards kids as well. So to get started, you guys, my first question of discussion is going to be some of the challenges we face in ourselves. Like, for example, myself, a lot of the challenges I face in myself is feeling like I'm supposed to be thin, or I'm supposed to look like the model on TV. I'm not supposed to be thick and curvy and heavy. I should be one of those skinny girls with long, pretty hair and, flawless that you see in the magazines and the TV. So that's one of the things I struggle with myself, because I'm not one of those girls. And I look in the mirror and that's not what I see. Even if other people see beauty in me, that's not what I see per se. So that is a struggle for me. Learning how to love who I am, what God gave me, and embrace it and make it something special and huge and things like that. So what I want to ask you guys is, what's some of the challenges you face in yourselves, if you want to share?
I'll start. If we're being honest, we must, and that's the only way to grow. So I always had a problem with my body and my figure as well. I'm flat in the bed and got a bone in the stomach, all these things. And I'm like 2 steps from getting surgery, from, okay, walk it, just go in October, get your surgery done. But then I'm still fighting between, okay, I get the surgery done, they do something wrong or something too big, and then I'm not going to be happy with myself then either. So, you know what I mean? Change comes within, not on the outside. So we have to change our heart, our mindset, the way we think and feel, in order to feel good about ourselves. It's not the surgery or anything else that'll make us feel better, because at the end of the day, it won't. I get that done, and then what? How would I feel? You know what I mean? Right. Will that make me the happiest person? No. So it all comes from within. We have to learn how to really just connect with our inner selves and God.
Yep, and that's a great point you bring up about the surgery, because a lot of women, like myself, thinks about surgery. I thought a lot about the weight loss surgery. I want to go get it so I can feel sexy, but who's to say that's going to make me feel better? It can turn a different way. Like you said, it can make me look flabby, or I get too skinny, or I'm just hanging and then I can't tone it, and things like that. So then that follows with another surgery. Now I have to follow up with another surgery that has skin removal and things like that. A lot of times surgeries, when you do like weight loss surgery, it makes a lot of people look older. So it's like, those are a lot of the struggles too, because a lot of people deal with that as well. Do I just go get this butt lift, or do I go get my boobs lift, or do I have this weight loss surgery and get Botox and things like that? So that's a great point that you bring up. I'm glad you put that up. Does anyone else want to share?
I would say struggling with not my weight. Y'all know me. I always enjoyed being a big girl. I was always classy. I was always proud to represent it. But at this stage in my life, I'm not happy at what being a big girl has caused. It caused me to be crippled. So I really struggled. I didn't expect this. I really struggled with going out in the world, having to depend on a rollator to walk for longer distances. It's something that eats at my esteem, because that's not my life. All my life I heard about this bad walk I had, you know, not to think vain. It's not okay. I'm nothing because I don't have this beautiful walk no more. Because I'm looking at the damage that being a big girl has caused. And being younger, I didn't have the issues, the pains, the aches that I'm having now. So I accepted, I embraced being a big girl, something that in society is not easily looked at. I mean, people are coming out now with being proud of their body, being proud of who we are. Like you said, when you look at yourself, you feel like you should be this particular way. And the world don't know how you see yourself. I'm proud of being a big girl. I'm not proud of the consequences that being a big girl can cause. And not everybody that's big is disabled. Some people get around fine, but for me, it did the opposite. So I want to say that in spite of, and I still love being a big girl. I just want to put that out there, but I want to uplift being a healthy big girl. And for a long time for me, going to the doctors, I never received the help that I needed. You know, oh, lose the weight. Not, hey, you're putting damage on your body. Because if you're taught these things earlier on, then you learn how to counteract them. You know, you learn how to say, okay, you know, I feel fine right now, but later on I'm causing damage, you know. But that's one major thing that I struggle, being disabled now because of me embracing being a big girl. Do that mean I need to stop embracing being a big girl? No, but if I can encourage anybody else, like you said, you loving you, learning to love someone else, I would let them know that being a big girl is absolutely fine, but one day that weight is going to put some pressure on your body that's going to disable you, and that part of being a big girl is not fun at all.
Right.
At all.
Yeah. Which is inspiring. So that's inspiring to me, and I know it's inspiring to a lot of big women as well, because again, some women, the world make you think you have to be skinny, or make you feel like you have to be skinny.
Yeah.
You can't be a big girl.
Mm-hmm.
So learning to embrace or loving being a big girl is really a good thing to inspire women who actually like being big, because there are some women who like being heavy, and there's some men who like heavy women. So, you know, learning to embrace that and inspiring people to embrace that, but also looking at the healthy side, because you're right. People don't tell you, okay, you might love being big, but you have to be a healthy big, because that weight can weigh on your joints, it can disable you, it can do all kind of damage. So you have to learn how to give it a happy medium, not get too heavy, but also not be thin. If you love being heavy, be heavy, but just be healthy with it. You know, make sure you're taking care of your body, you're taking care of yourself, you're staying mobile and things like that. So that's very encouraging to women who's constantly told you need to lose weight, you need to lose weight. Because, right, that's the first thing the doctor tells you if you're overweight and you go to the doctor, you need to lose weight. You know, and it's like, okay, what if I don't want to lose weight? What if I like being, you know, happy?
Exactly.
So what are my other options? Tell me what the health side of it is.
Right. A lot of people have illnesses and disease and things like that can cause you to be big. So no matter how much you diet and exercise, you can't lose the weight.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you end up being trapped in this lifestyle, you know.
Right. And some women like me go on yo-yo diets because they want to lose the weight, and we want to lose the weight fast. And then what happens is that backfires on us. We lose 10, 20 pounds here and there, and then we mess up, and then we gain 30 pounds back. You know, and then that becomes depressing because we're trying to make ourselves something that the world told us to lose. My doctor said I need to lose weight. Okay, let me go lose this weight. But what if I'm happy with the way I am? So you're sowing this seed into me, telling me that I'm obese or I'm too heavy, and it's making me not like myself, right? So yes, that's a lot of struggles that people go through, and it's sad because that's the way society is nowadays. You know, social media, yes, movies, TV, yes, everything. Yep. So these are some really good points to help people learn that they're not alone. Like, you know, other people are going through the same thing that you're going through. We need to all come together and try to figure out how to love who we are and not let people dictate who we're supposed to be. You know? Anybody else want to share?
I want to share something. To be honest about all of it, most times, like you said, we listen to people because most times we want to please somebody. Everybody wants to please somebody.
Right.
Everybody wants to make somebody else happy. Whether it's your wife, your husband, your parents, your teacher, we're people pleasers. So what we neglect when we're about pleasing someone else is what you're saying, we neglect ourselves. Because we care about what you think about me, or what you think about me, or what you think about me. The truth is that God made us all shapes and sizes for a reason. So my husband, I may never find him if I had blonde hair, if I had weave in my hair, if I had all this caked up makeup on, if I go get my butt lift, if I had boobs added to me, because he's looking for his mate. And I'm no longer recognizable as his mate because I've turned myself into something else. God designed each one of us for our mates. So my mate, to be honest with you, when he sees me, he's going to love everything about me, because not everything about what I created, which is what a lot of people don't know, but he's going to love all the natural me, because that's who he was looking for. He was looking for that Donna that smiled and didn't have, false eyelashes and all, and when we're making love or when we're going swimming, he don't have to worry about the makeup draining and the weave piece of the hair laying in the pool and the sinks at home being clogged up, because again, we're following the trends of the world. So whichever way we're trying to please everybody and we want to fit in, when actually God really didn't make us or create us to fit in. He created us to be unique's name, individuals. That's what he did, because uniquely, my man is going to see me and be like, ooh, baby, what is your name? Yeah, I mean, that's how it would hit him. But if he see me and I got on the elephant lashes and the weave down to my butt and now I got a bigger butt and I got big titties, he look at me like, a fine.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit that. Yeah, we just want to hit. And that's why most men, to be honest with you, just want to hit it, because you've turned yourself into something that they say, I'm not gonna marry it. Yeah, even if it's good, even if what they got is good, I'm gonna play with it. It's a toy, because look at it. That's not what I'm gonna take home.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Now it is a good trophy to have on my arm to make all the other men be like, yo. But when I'm done, I'm going to pass it on again, because we're uniquely made. So some women need to be big, because like you said, men prefer big women. Some women need to be really skinny, malnutrition looking, because their husband, for real. But her man, whoever he was, that's what he desired. Somebody who didn't have barely little meat on his bones. The men had a saying, even a dog bury a bone. So we get confused and wrapped up into all the psychics of the world, when all we really need to be is our truth, like you said, who we are.
Yep.
What I am.
Yep. And that's what the whole problem is. People learn to not love who they are, but learn who people say they're supposed to be. So you see the girls wearing the big eyelashes and the wigs because that's what society say you should look like. They get the caked up makeup and make themselves look light skin or dark skin or however they want to be, because exactly, that's who's getting the attention. Exactly. So then people feel like, okay, in order, they don't think about, if I love myself and whoever God made for me will love me. They think, no, the person who God made for me is only going to see me if I look presentable to him. Not thinking you being presentable to him is being who you are. That's who the person who will love you see. But that's not how it is. It's, no, you have to wear, girl, if you get your hair real long and straighten it out, it'll look real good. Or, oh, you got good hair, you should wear it like this and put a few tracks in it. Or or no, I don't like the natural look, which with some women, I think the natural look is beautiful. So but it's because society say you shouldn't look that way. Society say this is how you should look. This is what men like. And they show it on TV, and they show it on these little YouTube channels, social media. This is what the kids are seeing. And so now they're like, oh, I want to have it like, for say, my daughter. I want to have long hair like so-and-so. How come my hair not like that? And it makes them look at themselves like they're not beautiful, or what they were given from God is not acceptable in society because this is what people are telling them they're supposed to look like. Which brings me to my next question, or my next statement, sowing a seed. When you sow a seed in people, it's hard when you plant a seed in someone, it's like planting a seed in the dirt. And if the root is strong, it's hard to pull it. So it stays there. You gotta tug at it and tug at it and tug at it until you can pull that root out the dirt. So when people sow seeds in you like that and it's rooted in you, it's hard to pull that root. Because now somebody told me, no, you can't eat this, you can't eat that, because if you do, you're not going to look like you're supposed to look. Or people are not going to like you the way you are. Or you can't wear that because people are not going to like that. Even church, one of my biggest things was, one of the things that was really hard for me at church is wearing stockings. I don't like stockings. They make me feel so uncomfortable and they make me feel itchy from a kid. But when you go to church, they tell you, no, you have to wear stockings. You're supposed to wear stockings. It's what a woman's supposed to do. So that seed is sown in you. You feel like now if I don't go to church with stockings on, I feel naked. I feel like I'm out of place or I'm doing something wrong because that seed has been sown in me. And that's how so many people view life and view things, because those roots are strong. They're planted deep. Because a lot, like I said, a lot of times it comes from being a kid. So I would like to get y'all input on sowing a seed. Have you ever had a seed sown in you, or did you want to say something?
Yeah, so I was going to say that I know, I never had a problem with how people felt about me, like how my parents or any of that. But the one thing that I did, one of the seeds that was planted in me was, when you want to have kids, people put that in my head so much that I felt like I need to have me some kids. But I always knew I didn't want kids. But because people always said it, it was like I feel like less of a woman because I'm not having children. It wasn't until probably this year that I really sat down and was like, you would not survive with kids. Really, I can't have no kids. I'm like, so I really had to sit down and accept the fact that it was what people wanted me to do, and not what I ever wanted. I never wanted kids, and I can't even see myself having them now. But it was definitely a seed that people made me believe. You need to have some kids. You love kids. Why you don't have kids? I'm like,
yes, which is actually a really great point. There's so many women that struggle with that. And you're told from a child, or even in church and things like that, a lot of people confuse the saying in the Bible where they say, be fruitful and multiply. They confuse that. And they think that we are supposed to have kids. You're a woman, you're supposed to have children. What if God didn't want me to have children? What if He put me on this earth and He didn't want me to have children? He put me here for something else. But you're telling me that because I'm a woman, I'm supposed to have kids. So I actually have a friend who is trying her hardest to get pregnant and cannot get pregnant. And what she doesn't understand is because it's not God's time. You're doing it because you got married, and society say to you, okay, now you're married, you're supposed to have kids. But that's not what God said. Because if that's what God said, you would have kids. That's not what God wants for you. So that is a big seed that's sown in women, exactly, because they feel like, or like women who feel like they don't like men, they like women, and they're told, oh, well, how am I supposed to have, their parents go, how am I supposed to have grandkids? What are you going to do with grandkids? Like a co-worker of mine who's a guy, he likes men, that's just what he is, that's who he is. And he's the only kid, and his parents are upset because they don't have grandkids. And he's like, I'll go get a puppy, that'll be a grandkid, because some people just don't want children. That's just that's how it is, or God don't want some people to have children. But yeah, those seeds are strong because they do, and like you said, it just took you now and all these years to realize I really don't want kids. Like y'all are making me want kids when I don't want them. You know, anyone else?
But the seed caused so many years of pain, you know, and you don't understand it when you were young. I'm thinking about two specific seeds that were sown in my life, and that's when I was younger. You're fat, because I was a little bit bigger, you know, and I wasn't fat back then. And one day I looked at a picture and I was thicker, yes, than my siblings, but I wasn't fat. And I felt the size that I am now. This is how I felt back then. You know what I mean? That I was fat. No matter if I liked it or if I accepted it or not, it was the seed that was sown that made me feel like I was fat. And that is what is the word? Metamorphosize? I might be saying it wrong. Yeah, but it's like I said, absolutely, into this person, because that's the seed that was sown, you know, and being teased for that, you know. And then another seed, you know, just being in ministry. You know, this is a big one. Like immediately when you were talking earlier about what your blog is about, that's the first thing that I thought about. You know, and so many people who don't understand, they point so many fingers at you. One seed that was sown is, oh, I'm not consistent. You know, and it made me feel like I have to be perfect. And so I try to spend so much time being perfect that I don't leave room for God to use me to get the glory, because I'm so worried about being consistent. And in trying to be perfect, I'm discovering that I'm being so imperfect, because that's not who God called me to be. And we hear it so often, you know, oh, God called the unqualified, he qualifies the unqualified, and he used so many people with so many flaws. And I mean, I can't get my thoughts together right now to express it how I feel it, but you know, we hear these things all of the time that we're not perfect, but yet so many people make you feel like you have to be absolutely perfect. Then you telling me I can't be human. Then you telling me that I can't fall short of God's glory. You know, you telling me that all of these things that the word tell me about who I am, I can't be, because I have to be perfect. And it makes ministry so, I want to say, hard. Not impossible, because God is going to always be with you, but it makes it so difficult. You know what I mean?
Right. But that's like too, right? Because even though you say that in ministry, even if I just go to church, people look at me like, oh, you go to church, you shouldn't be drinking. Oh, you shouldn't be going out. You shouldn't be doing this. You go to church, you shouldn't have a life. That's how people look. They look, because you go to church, you're supposed to be perfect, which turns people away from wanting to go to church. You know, that's a bad seed to sow, because now you're turning people away from God, because you're making them feel like they have to be perfect. And being perfect is impossible when you're human. We can't all be perfect. Sometimes we make mistakes, we don't even know it's a mistake. You know, sometimes we sin, we don't even understand that it's a sin. We don't even understand that what we're doing is sinning. It's for God to work on us, not for people to say, no, you have to be this. You have to do this. If you go to church, girl, you shouldn't wear your hair like that. Or girl, you can't come in here with that dress on in church. You know what I mean? Because they feel like exactly, and you're not supposed to do that.
Because they love God.
Because they
Well, some people sow seeds unintentionally.
Yes.
So the perfect for example of that is, when I was young, I was told my whole life, not just me, but all my siblings, that you're dumb, you're stupid. So my dad loved me. So that wasn't an intentional seed that he was sowing, although it was a seed. And it took me years to understand and uproot and unpluck that seed. Because although I was a straight A student, making all A's and B's, and was smart as a whip, and no matter how many people told me or teachers told me that I was smart, and I found favor with every teacher, in my mind I was still dumb and I was still stupid. And I couldn't get over that no matter how somebody praised me. But again, I say that to say that my dad didn't intentionally sow that seed. He just wasn't aware that he was sowing a seed. Some people are not aware that they're sowing seeds when they say something. Like even in this, and us releasing ourselves, we're not aware if we're sowing a seed or that we're sowing it. Like you can slip up and say the wrong thing and sow a seed, but it's not intentional. You know, it's not with the intent to hurt or to cause harm to you. It's just because that person is out of it themselves, not thinking, stuck in places that they can't even begin to express to you. They're stuck in the mud. They can't even get out. So how can they help you out? So again, I just wanted to reiterate that, since that is the subject, that yes, let's unpluck the seeds, and as we continue to grow, the seeds will begin to come up. Now, when it come up, we can't feel, because when it come up, some seeds are hurtful when they come up, because it's a lot of pain in there. So, but don't try to squish it back down and say, no, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna let it out because I don't want nobody to see it. Let it out. Because in order for it to leave you, it has to come up so it can come out. So it can go away. Right? So you can get it out of there so that you don't have it anymore. So that's the beautiful thing about this blog, thank you for, and us coming together, is that we're going to learn how to unplug seeds that should not be there. And that's all praises to the Father, to the Creator for what He's allowed. I thank Him for giving you this in your heart.
Yes.
Absolutely, and thank you. And yes, that brings up a good point, because a lot of seeds are not intentional. Like with me, I struggle with my weight and how I look all my life. And it started, it's funny how some things you know exactly when it started. You just didn't understand it when it started. And it started with me after I got sick and hospitalized, and we went to Florida. And Denina saw me for the first time and bust out laughing because I gained all that weight from being on those steroids. And I could not understand why it was so funny. I couldn't understand why she was laughing at me. And it made me feel like something was wrong. You know, and she didn't know that she was sowing a seed. She just saw like, oh my God, you got so big. Like that's all she saw. She didn't see that she was sowing a seed. I didn't even understand she was sowing a seed. Yes, or even that it hurted. But it made me look at myself different. I looked in the mirror different. I looked at my whole presence completely different. Like, Dad, I got sick, and now this is what sick made me. And then all my life I struggled with that. You know, and that's what happened. But again, she didn't know she was sowing that seed. But it took me to realize that wasn't intentional for me to overcome it. And I'm not all the way there with loving myself. I'm still learning how to love myself and how to unplug that seed. Because like you said, once it starts coming up, it starts getting painful. And then you think about things that happen in your life that trigger even more pain. And it's like, no, I just want to run it high. I don't even want to do it. Just like with this line, I almost canceled the whole thing. And you hear that little voice in your head go, no, because this is not for you. People need this. People need to see that they're not alone. People need to learn how to start unplucking those seeds that were done to them and those hurtful things to make them feel like they don't like who they are. We need to start learning to like who we are. And who God made us to be, to work on us. Because it's not about everybody else. It's about you as an individual and who you are and what your purpose is here, what your purpose is for here on earth. Because we don't know where we're going to go. You don't know what lives God wants you to touch. You know, so yes, and I thank you all for that, but that brings me to my next question. So how do we begin to unplug those seeds? What are the steps that we need to take to begin to love who we are and how God made us? How do we look in the mirror and say, not just physically, because I can go all day, oh girl, you look good. Oh, that's nice. Look, I got dressed today. I had to get 3 different opinions on my outfit, which is really crazy because it's like, why can't I look in the mirror and see and like what I see? You know, why do I have to worry about how it's presented to everyone else? Why can't I just go, you know what, I like this outfit. Let me put it on. It looks nice on me. It doesn't look too revealing. And we, go about it. So how do we begin to work on us and unsow those seeds that's been sown either intentionally or unintentionally? How do we look at ourselves in the mirror when we get up and say, you know what? God loves you. And you need to love you. Because he made you. If he didn't love you, he wouldn't have made you who you are. So why do I have to worry about what somebody else thinks of me? When God is the only person who really should matter. You know, his opinion, his thoughts. Am I pleasing God? It doesn't matter how I look physically. Am I doing what God wants me to do? Am I the person God made me to be? You know, who am I? So how do we begin to do that?
I think it's like what you said, how you went back to realizing the first time that you ever felt that way when it started. I think it's to go to the root of the problem. So what started you feeling this way in the first place? When did it begin? Because once you get here, you can begin to start to heal. How did I feel at that time? You know, like, how did you feel at that time when you were saying that? You know what I'm saying? You was hurt by it. But you realized that, okay, I didn't even have that issue. You know, I was okay with myself. You know what I'm saying? So we go back to that initial shelter, which made us self-conscious about whatever it is we feel about ourselves. Go back to that. And then start to deal with that. And I think as you do that, you start to heal. And you gradually start to go through different transitions. Because like you said, when you think about it, you know what I'm saying? Like for instance, your weight. So now when you think about your weight, you think about all the encounters that you had dealing with your weight. And each time how it made you feel. To start looking at those scenarios like, you know what? I didn't have to feel that way in that situation. But because the seed was already planted, because I already felt that, it just made me cringe up. So it made me feel those feelings all over again. But I didn't have to feel that then, and I don't have to feel it now. So I think, like you said, just go back to the root so that you can start to deal with each individual encounter that had you feeling low.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Go ahead.
You know, I was thinking about all the years that transpired since that happened. It's like a buildup, you know, and you don't know how to deal with it. Like, what just happened? All these years go by, right? And time goes by. It's a side effect. It's like being on drugs or something like that, you know, and you go through, let's just say, different scenarios in your life, and you wonder why I have to look this way. Like you were saying about your hair, how you look, you put your makeup on a certain way. You feel like you should have to look this way, but you really don't. Be yourself, be natural, be who you are, you know. But let's go back again to demeanor again, you know. Starting back there, I think that's where it stems from. We have to learn how to heal as we go along. But some people don't know how to heal as they go along. We have to find that way, we have to find ourselves.
Right. And also some people don't know, some people are not honest with themselves.
Exactly.
You know, so you have to also be honest with yourself
Yes,
on
yes.
what hurts you, what made you feel like you're not beautiful, or you're too heavy, or you know, you're not who God made you to be, or you're not the perfect minister, or you're not a good church girl because you're this, or you know what. You really do have to be honest with yourself, because if you're not honest with yourself, you're never going to heal from it. You know, you're never going to even know how to heal from it. You know?
Yeah, the first step is coming to realization, because some of us don't even realize we have a problem. And even if we do, we're like in denial, some of us, and don't want to believe it, or just don't want to speak on it. And so that's the second step. We need to talk about it. We need to get comfortable enough to talk about it, because a lot of our problems are built up and they're festered and they're sitting in and we're rotten. And if we don't talk, we can't release. You know, and like me, I'm a big person and I'll talk to nobody. I just started talking to Deidre, and that's my only person I talk to because I can trust her. But we feel like we can't trust people. What am I going to do with this? This feels like a secret. And it's not even a secret, but we feel like it's a secret. It's so big. Oh, people going to judge me. You know what I mean? Anything or whatever happened. And we need to get it out. We need to be able to talk to people. We need to be able to release that, because it's really a demon. Let it go. We feel free. You know what I mean? And we can't do that. We can't do that because we can't trust people, because people talk so much. People hold it against you. People want to use that. You can't even trust to have a friend and have that friend forever, and they're going to hold your secret. Oh no, something happened. They're going to go say something about that. And so it's like, who do I talk to? And yeah, I talk to God a lot, but I need a physical being here to know what I'm going through, so I can know that what I went through was okay. That it's not a bad thing, that I did nothing wrong, and that I'm free because I let it go. You know what I mean? And that's what we need to do. We need to, secondly, release it onto someone we can trust, and that's the hardest part, finding someone we can trust.
That's why
Well,
therapists.
But I you know, that's funny. I said that because someone came to me and confided in me, and I was hurt because I said, this is the sad part, no reflection on anybody. I said, at the age of 64, which is what I am, I said, I don't know one real man that I could recommend this man go to, because I'm a woman. And even though he came to me, I could only give him from a woman's point of view. It would be nice to be able to send him to a man and say, I know that this man won't tell you, he's like me, he won't tell you anything wrong. And if it is wrong, it'll be a mistake that you'll be able to forgive him for one day. But I trust this man, so let me recommend you go to him. It's a very sad thing, not bashing no man, because I love all of God's men. And I'm praying for every man, all of my ex-husbands, it don't even matter. I'm praying for everybody, because there's none of us here that's without sin. There's none of us here that's perfect. There's no book other than the Bible that gives you a blueprint of what and who you're supposed to be, and why, and what you should be doing, and how you should be doing it. So I'm not bashing anybody. I love all of God's creation. But I would love to know the one man that I did have, God just gave him his wings on Wednesday, which broke my heart, because that was the one man that even I ran to, Pastor Paul, who just passed away. And I trusted him, you know. I trusted him enough. But now he's gone. So I told God this much, I said, God, who am I going to go to? He said, you're going to come to me. You no longer need that crutch. That was a crutch that you no longer need, you know, but that you use. I said, okay, God, but like you just said, I want somebody new. But at any rate, yes, it would be a beautiful thing for a brother, a man, any man, to be able to go to another man and say, I got some issues that I really need to go over and talk to somebody with, but I don't have nobody, but I really would like to talk to them. I wish that I just had somebody that I could talk to about it. And I would love to be able to say, I know a man, a human man, because God is the man, yeah. But I know a man that you can talk to, and he would give you sound advice. So we're missing that, and I'm praying really hard for that God will raise our men back up, and our women, to get in our places and to be the women that we're supposed to be, because behind every good man is a good woman. Obama couldn't have been what he's been without Michelle. Understand that, yeah. So we're needed, or God wouldn't have made it, you know. There's no such thing as, I can live without a man. No, I can't. I don't know who told you that lie, but I can't live without a man. I've tried for a long time. I tried. So, you know, so I just wanted to, you know, stir in that part, you know, because I think that is a very important key to helping one another. Let's help one another to get up. It's time to get up.
Yes, which are both great points, because sometimes you do need that physical person. And like Faith said, it's hard to trust people anymore, because people just want something to talk about. You go and you confide in them, and you pour out your heart to them, and then they come back, oh bro, let me tell you about such and such, or you know, they need something to talk about, so they take your pain and they run to go make it public, so people can have something to talk about.
And so they can feel better about themselves.
They're hurting themselves.
Somebody else paid us to watch them out.
Yeah.
You need friends like Chad had, because they nobody let that man colon cancer secret out. Not one person.
Right,
Because nobody
absolutely.
knows about that.
And it's sad because we're not doing anything but tearing each other down.
Absolutely.
We make each other feel so little about themselves because I confided in you because I needed somebody to talk to, and you went and made me the joke.
You betrayed me.
Yes.
You betrayed me.
And that's not fair, because when you need somebody to talk to, you wouldn't want nobody to do that to you, right? And like you said, with our men, you know, there is a lot of good men out here. It really is. But it's sad that people feel like it's hard to find because of, again, how society is. And men don't have each other to talk to like women don't have each other to talk to. Men think and talk to, oh, I got into an argument with my girl, or this, and the fourth. Man, just go find somebody else or go chill, whatever the advice is. A lot of times the advice is not good
Not
advice.
good.
It's not a good friend advice, especially if it's a married man or a married woman. You know, like if I go to a girlfriend because I'm having problems in my marriage, and the first thing they say, oh, you need to leave him. No.
Or let's go to the drink.
Or
drink.
Yeah.
yeah. That's not how this works.
Yeah.
I'm coming to you just for a shoulder to lean on. You know, just to vent because maybe I'm hurting. You know, but again, that starts from kids, which is why kids need to grow up with the father. Especially,
Both parents, yeah.
right, especially little boys and little girls. You know, little girls need to know how a man is supposed to treat them. That comes from young. That comes from, I see how my dad treat my mom. Or how my dad raised up. You know what I mean? That's how a little girl look at it. Like, sorry to say, you know, my dad was there, but he wasn't there. You know, he didn't go anywhere, but he wasn't there fully. We needed a
He
dad.
wasn't there.
You know?
They agree with you up. You gonna tell the truth to the world.
That's how he eat.
I mean, he came, you know, and he took us places when we were kids. So he was, I guess he was there the best way
Yeah,
he
he was
was.
stuck himself.
Exactly.
Yeah, he was stuck
Exactly.
in the
But
mud
But
himself.
again,
Yeah.
maybe it was his own personal issues he was going to do. We don't know.
We don't deal
We
with our-
can't judge.
Yeah, we can't judge.
You know,
Yeah.
but kids, and even with little boys, a lot of these little boys go out here and get into the streets with their friends, get into all kinds of stuff they're not supposed to get into because they don't have that role model father figure in the house. It's too many single mothers raising kids by themselves, or too many women having kids by people they shouldn't be having kids by. Like, and you know you shouldn't be having kids by these people.
You know, I'm saying yes,
Wait, how you going to say that? Wait. First of all, you can't get pregnant unless God allow you. I don't care who you sleeping with. You ain't getting pregnant unless God allow you. So God wanted that little girl here, so you can say anything you want. That was not the wrong man. You gonna quit playing
But
with me?
I like your question. You was asking how do we start unplugging and see? And I was listening to what everybody's saying. I agree. And then Mom was saying something on the verge of what I was thinking, that you know, and this is another thing. Everybody beat you up for talking spiritual, but that is who I am. You know what I mean? And I right now I just wanted to cringe to stand and say, Nidra, don't turn that way, because I'm used to everybody saying, oh, she always gotta talk about God, she always gotta do this or that. But that is who I am. And that is when I'm most happiest. You know what I mean? So I'm saying that to say we gotta go back to who God said we are. With me, with myself, in ministry, with me, with myself, and what I'm dealing with right now, God always encouraged me, and He tells me that I'm His, that I'm fearfully and I'm wonderfully made, that I'm imperfect, but yet I'm perfect in Him. He lets me know that I'm His daughter. He lets me know that I'm His preacher. He lets me know who I am. And it's us, like you said, because of those seeds, because of all of the things we dealt with and faced that I rejected. Every time God come and encourage me, I always say, but. You know what I mean? Because that seed that's there that I'm trying to unroot, but it's hard. But if we can keep practicing and believing what God, who God said we are, that's another way to unroot. Because with me, I feel like I have so many issues. I can't go back to that root. I can't go back to that problem. I'm that person that I don't know where my problems began. You know what I mean? Some people that having a different father. You know what I mean? That's something that I hide. And until this day, I want to be free from that, but I hide it because of the shame that comes with that. My issues could have came from that, something that was beyond my control. So I can't find my root to go back there and fix it. So I'm going to say, for the people that is like that, then go to God, who can tell you who you are, and not only that, encourage you in who you are. And as you start practicing and believe who God says you are, then that person will manifest. You know,
You're really struggling with
Yeah,
that.
you're struggling
And they
with
need
that.
to hear that, and you
Yeah,
just let that
that's
out, you
really
know?
needed.
That was
But
something you was holding.
and because I know I'm in front of my family right now, but I'm not ready for the world to know.
No,
You know what I
no,
mean?
God is ready
Ain't
for the
about
world to
you.
know it. It ain't about her. It ain't,
But
it
see,
ain't about her.
that's one of the problems, though. One of the issues is people don't include God into everything like they're supposed to. Like you say, everybody always say to you, oh, here go Minister Nidra. Nidra always
Sometimes we
talking about
need
God. Yes. That's
We
the
don't even
problem
know.
with the
That's the
world, and that's
backbone,
the
that's the
problem with
foundation.
people. We took God out of too much,
Mhm.
where God is supposed to be a part of everything.
That's why the
If
world is the
God,
way it is.
yes, absolutely. If God is a part of everything, we would succeed more than we know. We will be further ahead than we are right now. You know, some people are comfortable where they are. But if they included God more often, they wouldn't have to be comfortable where they are because God can do much more. And like they said, God wanted you to share this because there's so many people in this world that fights that very same battle and has that very same seed sown into them. Like I said, kids are cruel. They tease each other like we used to do when we were kids. Oh, your dad is this,
I was
and my dad
adopted.
is
Sell
that.
drugs, your dad sell drugs.
I was all kinds
Your
of
dad
stuff.
can't sing.
You only like when you adopted, say, mommy ain't got no pictures of you.
Yeah.
Same mom, same dad.
Absolutely.
That's him now. Call. Hold up. No, I'm just-
Absolutely. And again, it goes back to that we're sowing seeds that we don't know we're sowing.
Absolutely.
You know, and
Unintentional.
exactly. And there's so many people out there that don't know that they have that same seed sown into them until
they hear
someone
somebody
say
else
it.
say it.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And then they're like,
That's me too.
Yeah.
you know, wow, I struggle with that very same thing. It can really heal somebody. God allows for us to go through things as a
Yeah.
testimony. He
Yeah.
doesn't allow for us to go through things to break us or to hurt us. And that's what we fail to realize. Because when you go through it, it hurts. It's painful. And you don't want people to see your pain. That's the last thing you want people to see because they judge you. And they talk about you. And they belittle you. They make you
Yes,
feel
yes,
like you
yes,
are
yes.
nobody.
Yes.
But God used that so
And it's
you
wrong.
can be a testimony for somebody else.
And it's you being a testimony for somebody else and helping yourself
Because
because
you release
I
it.
never wanted to talk about the fact that I grew up without my mom or dad. And I used, like you said, hide it. I used to hide that, and I did the fact that it was days I wanted to die. Like I didn't want to wake up like, God, why are you waking me up the next day? What am I here for? And I never really wanted to share that, but God was like, look, you gonna bring this out.
And you're not the only one. You're not
Start
alone.
talking about it. 'Cause
That's what you need to know
Yeah.
too, that you
Right.
wasn't
Right.
alone.
Talk
And it
about
helped
it.
me because it's like
Absolutely.
I was holding it in, and it was like I felt like it was damaging me inside. But once I got it out, I felt much better. Yes, I felt much better.
You relieve yourself. And once you start unplugging that seed, you can release those demons that are holding on to
And
you.
you touch
And you exactly, and you can begin to grow, not only within yourself, but grow within God. You become who God wanted you to be. The longer you hold on to those seeds and that pain that's festering in you, you're stuck. And that's where the world wants you to be. That's why they're doing the things that they do. That's why they make it look like exactly all this killing and stuff that's going on. Everything that's happening in this world is to keep us where we are and to not grow. And that's why I'm saying you really do need to keep God in everything. Because with God with you, you can never
Who
fail.
can be against you?
Exactly.
And
Yep.
I was gonna say, everything definitely happens in God's time. His time, like it comes out when He wants it to come out.
Right.
Because I knew for a long time I was called to ministry, but it wasn't. God, I wasn't ready. God was preparing me for the day to come out.
Right.
I knew for years that I was called, but I fought it, and God didn't want to come out. January, He said, "You doing it," and it was right when I did the word, when I did the spoken word, and I started like talking about my depression and talking about not waking up. 2 weeks later, God was like, "Now's the time."
Because
It
you
was
release
like,
that seed.
Like, wait, hold on, I just got something.
And
Release that seed.
Yep, and
Now
that's
it's the
the
next
thing.
chapter.
Those are some battles that we deal with too, right? Because God called you and God called you. But you're going to have those people that say, what?
Why?
Why? Yeah. Do you know what kind of stuff she get into? Oh, you know what kind of
That's the
person
reason
she
he
is?
called
You know. Exactly. Because again, the world want to see you're supposed to be a minister, you're supposed to be perfect. You're not supposed to do this, you're not supposed to do that. And I'm one of those people, I'm guilty. I would see something that happen to somebody and say, oh no, how is such and such supposed to do? Well, what? Why would such and such do that? Because it's human nature. Sometimes it's not intentional. Sometimes I gotta check myself.
Right.
Like, who are you to judge her? How do you know if that's what God wants for her? Like, who are you to say that's not where God wants her to be? Who are you? I really do have to check myself. A lot of people don't know how to check themselves. They think that they are right. They think that what they do and what they say are right, and that you ain't supposed to do something because of the person that you are.
I'm extremely transparent on social media. So believe me, I've gotten the calls. You want to be a minister? Oh, I wouldn't even let you praise dance at my church.
Wow.
People, I had to delete one of my friends.
And to say it to
I
you
had
like you
one of
want
my
to
friends came to me and said that somebody came to her and said that they wouldn't let me praise dance in their church because I'll be on social media drinking. I said, well, have you ever seen me drunk? Never seen me drunk. Okay, I had a drink in my hand.
But everybody will have their opinions. Even like this blog. This blog is supposed to be something positive. But you're going to have those people who have their opinions. They're going to have their opinions and they're going to try to discourage you. But if you know that you're doing God's will, you can't let things like that discourage you. You can't let it hold you back. Again, this is to begin to unpluck those seeds that has been sown into you, and for you to begin to embrace who you are in God and who God has ordained for us to be. Not for the world, exactly.
You gotta look at that.
Trust me, because we got some stuff inside of us that's down there that we don't even know is there yet, and it hasn't even begun to come up yet. Really, it hasn't. And I don't care what our titles or positions are. We have some stuff in us because I was reading Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and I'm now in Deuteronomy. Well, when I got to Deuteronomy, and I'm in the 29th chapter now of the book of Deuteronomy, but as I got through it, especially Leviticus and Numbers, I felt, first of all, the Spirit started accusing God. I felt like, wow, God is mean. He really is, and wow, look what he do to people. And I was really feeling that way. And so, but I told God, and even in feeling that way, I said, the Lord, I'm going to keep going. So I kept going. So by the time I got to the middle of Deuteronomy, my whole spirit began to change. I began to see differently because the funniest thing is I began to say, wow, I was that poor. I was that woman at the well. I had all these husbands. I got kids by different fathers. I was a liar. I stole in my life. I began to see all of the things that I did, and that according to Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, and Numbers, I couldn't be saved. That, oh God, I'm one of the ones you would have killed. You wouldn't even let me wander through the wilderness for 40 years. I would have never saw the promised land. After I got through the middle of Deuteronomy, I began to see different, and the Lord began to show me, look at my mercy, look how I love you. Even with all those flaws you got, all that stuff you did, you sitting there telling me what you did, Donna, but look how I love you. Look at my grace. And I was like, wait, I was stuck. I was stuck right there in his presence, loving him for how he loved me. If he can love me, and I know what I've done, anybody can be saved. Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Oh, God bless me. No, baby, he showed you mercy.
Yeah, he showed all of us mercy and grace.
Absolutely.
So it's a good thing to come up. Like I said, when he had told me months ago that I was the woman at the well. And I went to my sister and I was like, I think God just called me a hoe. Yeah, I did. I was like, Nina, wait a minute. I said, Nina, God called me a hoe. I said, I didn't know how to process that at first. Yeah. I mean, that's how I really felt. So I expressed it. But God was cracking up because God has an amazing, beautiful sense of humor. He really do. God has a beautiful sense of humor. Look at us. Look at all of us, how he made us. You think he don't have a sense of humor? But anyway, I was like, oh my God, so I couldn't get over it. And I was really shocked that God would say something like that. I was like, God, Nina was like, God wouldn't say nothing like that. I was like, yes, he did. But later on, I began to appreciate the woman at the well because you know why? He took his time to talk with her, even in her sin. Even knowing that she had 5 husbands and told her the one she had now wasn't hers. In other words, you married to the wrong one. Yeah. So I began to appreciate it, but it took me something to appreciate that. Yeah. So as it come up, yeah, you gotta let it come out. Because it, like again, if you said, if you hold on to it, you're not gonna get better. But the more you let go, the more you start glowing.
That's the truth.
Before you know it, you find yourself glowing in a way you never thought or knew you could glow.
And you're
Yeah.
not accepting yourself.
Yeah, you begin to accept.
Yeah, you do.
And that's exactly what it is. It's for you to begin to let go and accept who you are and who God made you to be.
Yes.
Exactly.
So
I just want to touch on what Mom said, right?
Yes.
You know, I think we all have some shameful things we don't talk about, how we feel about things that changes our whole life. You know, talking to God, you know, are you really one of God's children? I did this in my lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
I've committed adultery, or I've been this man, or this woman, you know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
So my question to you is, right, do you think being shameful, do we have to get out of our own way to come forward so we can do who we really are?
Absolutely.
We are in our
own way.
Absolutely, we are. Yep. We hold ourselves back. We are in our own way. Like I said, it's because of seeds and things that's been sown into us, and the way society tells us we should be. We do. We really do hold ourselves
Like I
back.
said, God tells us, He encourages all the time, this is who you are. God Himself, the person, the one who created me, and I'm fighting back because of them seeds saying, no, God, you know,
Right.
that's not who I am. I'm messed up. I'm this, I'm that. He knows that. Yes, you're messed up, but you're also my child.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're also this, you're also
Yep.
that. And so we have to believe what God is saying.
Yes.
There's no other way around it because society will jack us up. You know, we are jacked up mentally because of it, trying to figure out who we really are.
Absolutely.
You know, and quite the contrary, with all of the flaws, we are that too.
Mhm.
But even with
Absolutely.
that doesn't
He loves
define.
us.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's how I've been with this whole block. God gave this to me a while ago. Even my husband said to me, you know, you need to start, you're very encouraging with certain things. And you need to start doing things to encourage other people. That's your gift. You're loving, you're this. But I've been fighting and struggling with that. My thing was, how can I encourage somebody else when I'm messed up?
You didn't believe in
But
yourself.
exactly, I didn't believe in myself because society made me not believe in myself. Made me feel like I have to be this or I have to do this in order to encourage other
But you're
people.
doing it.
Yes.
And like you said, you are still learning to love you right now, but you're doing it. I'm inspired. I really and my thing was is that he don't have to put the camera on me because I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna listen to everybody else. And that I was so serious. Absolutely. So I believe that the Spirit of God is who gave it to you because not only that, even you're my sister, I know you, and even the way you're presenting it to me is perfect.
God.
Yeah, so that means it's God because we are imperfect.
I
So
see.
yeah.
This even help me with my child surgery.
Like I'm a little more ready now.
Right?
I just feel like be who you are, you know, and love who you are because God make everybody different.
He
He made
does.
you for you because the thing is that He made more people like you. So when you decide to be happy with you, you can now show people that's just like you.
Yes.
You can be happy
Exactly.
with
Yes.
who you are. Let me show you how because I'm happy with me and I'm just like you. You know what I'm saying? Especially like even with me being a lesbian, people say, oh, you can't be gay and like Jesus. You can't be gay and believe in God. You know what I'm saying? It's not true.
Not true at all.
Because God needs people of all forms and all walks of life. So I can be gay and He might just use me to talk to gay people about Him.
Yes.
Because they scared to go to Him because of what society. What society
Yes,
says.
exactly.
So be who you are. You want to be a thick girl, you want to be a short girl, you want to be a big man, you want to be a muscle man. Be who you are. Because there's other people that's looking at you and they need to see what you got.
I always tell you that. I always say you can't be truly happy unless you're yourself. And if you in a relationship or a friendship or whatever, and you not yourself, and you can't be free, and you can't laugh or I don't care, fart, whatever you want to do, release yourself. You can't be you.
That's the truth.
You can't be happy. You shouldn't be there. You shouldn't be with this guy. You shouldn't be with that friend. You shouldn't be there because the only way to be truly happy is to be yourself. Period.
And you know what? I believe this. See how big this is for me. I believe the spirit of the Lord is here when He comes in, and you can tell that He's here because a man, and I'm gonna say this because it's a weakness in my voice. And sometimes we don't have a lot of money because we would fix the house, but we do things in love, like we bought this table with you, painted it, fixed this, and then did different things to it. That's what we offer in love. And you know.
No, you can't get it up.
It's okay to be emotional because now you're showing people like Ruben it's okay to be emotional. It's okay for a man to be emotional.
Exactly. Yep, and that's true because we do need men to encourage other men. You know, men are like women. Women are toward certain things when they grow up. Men are toward certain things when they grow up. Men shouldn't cry. Exactly. Yeah, men shouldn't be soft. Men shouldn't hurt. Exactly.
You gotta break
When it's
down.
okay. Yeah, because if you hold
God
it
made
in-
you human. God cried.
That was our favorite prayer. Jesus wept. Every Thanksgiving, Jesus wept. Yeah.
You know, from a man's, I ain't gonna cut you off, but
That's okay.
from a man's point of view, it's hard to say these things as men because we really, we don't keep that punctualism of that, that swag, but the thing is, a real man will say what's on his mind, his heart, because he's a family lover and he will feel it. My brother, I know what you're talking, what I'm talking about, right?
They
don't say it.
The man with the baddest swag is the man who loves God. It ain't scared. Don't care what no other man thinks. Yeah. That's the man after my heart. That's the man with the swag. Yeah. A man that's really in love with the Lord.
And that's very true because men think like women think that men love a certain type. Men also think the same way. A woman not gonna love me if I'm not built or if I'm not making enough money.
If I ain't got
Money
no
was
car.
Yeah, if I ain't got the cash.
That's what men think, but
That ain't
that's
love.
not absolutely true, and it's not love.
Yeah, it's not love.
Women begin to love the man. It's the man. The other things is just like
Add-on.
this.
It
It's
goes
add-on,
together.
yeah. But if you can't be a loving man, the relationship will never last.
Yeah.
The marriage will never last.
Never.
So that's where women fall short at as well because they do. They look at, do he got a nice car? Do he got money? I don't even care if he look good. If he got money, I floss with him. That's how women portray themselves. And that's how they get caught up in things that make them unhappy. Because now you're not happy because you chase the wrong thing. So as a man, you have to be yourself. Because if that woman is for you, you're going to attract her regardless. And y'all can grow together, even if you are broke. Ain't got no money, ain't got no car, y'all busted up. Exactly, you grow together. If it's what God ordained, God will fix it.
Yes.
Because you don't want to be going together. You want to be growing together.
But I really do want to thank everybody for coming out, the encouragement for the blog, for sharing, because I do know that's one of the hardest things to do is to share, especially on camera with a bunch of strangers, to let them see that side of you. Because again, the world will judge you. And that's one of my biggest fears, but I can't let that hold me back. Because this is something that I feel in my heart that's supposed to be done. Because we have to stop tearing each other down. We have to start practicing how to help each other, love yourself, and to grow and to see everybody do well, to see everybody happy because tomorrow isn't promised. So I want to thank all of you for coming out, being a part of this vlog. The website is coming soon. I'll post all that for you guys to, have access to, ask your questions, see other different interviews and things that I'll be doing. I may want to ask you guys to interview again later on to see where your growth and things are at, and see how you're getting along with yourself and, loving yourself and things. But again, thank you for joining LLM Vlog, and we wish to see you soon.
Wakanda forever.